I wanna be the best in the game, invest in my name, check no restraints, I'm obsessed with the pain. I ingest, I retain, assess and I change, possessed by the thought I'll be free one day from society's restraints. Money, clout and fame, mud, disease, a plague. We all love to hate, have to play the game, have to make a name. All our insecurities are on display. This is war with the enemy, think that it was meant to be. Living in a time where disease is on every screen. I won't let them fester me, I know most are festering. Negativity is a plague for the mentally weak. No mercy, all I got is working. Never stop searching, never quench the thirsty. I'm toxic and psychotic, with this logic you can't stop it. It's been chronic since I was a boy, so neurotic and chaotic. Go to last with the webs I'm weaving. I could change the past with all I'm achieving. Got my foot on gas, never stop competing. If you break like glass, then this life's gonna eat 'em. Make mistakes real fast, then you learn how to beat 'em. If you take off the cast, you can see all the healing. If the pain's in the past, move on from the grave and put your foot on the gas. No, never stop competing, yeah. I've been doing this, I'm on it. I just wanna be iconic. Sipping on a gin and tonic, got me going off when I'm on this topic, yeah. If I ever play, I want it. You know that I'm always honest. Stay away from those who are toxic. Keep them out your face, no way, you don't want them, yeah. Don't try to drain my energy. The enemy is everything. It's mentally, unhealthily, spreading like a rare disease. But I won't let it get to me. I don't need your therapy. I can leave a legacy of leading by intensity. Come on, we can fight this. Freedom is priceless. Spread just like a virus. Living in a crisis. Do you feel courageous? Do you seek greatness? Trust me, you can take it. Go on and take your aim. Built to last with the webs I'm weaving. I could change the past with all I'm achieving. Got my foot on gas, never stop competing. If you break like glass, then this life's gonna eat 'em. Make mistakes real fast, then you learn how to beat 'em. If you take off the cast, you can see all the healing. If the pain's in the past, move on from. I wanna be the best in the game, invest in my name, check no restraints, I'm obsessed with the pain. I ingest, I retain, assess and I change, possessed by the thought I'll be free one day from society's restraints. Money, clout and fame, mud, disease, a plague. We all love to hate, have to play the game, have to make a name. All our insecurities are on display. This is war with the enemy, think that it was meant to be. Living in a time where disease is on every screen. I won't let them fester me, I know most are festering. Negativity is a plague for the mentally weak. No mercy, all I got is working. Never stop searching, never quench the thirsty. I'm toxic and psychotic, with this logic you can't stop it. I wanna be the best in the game, invest in my name, check no restraints, I'm obsessed with the pain. I ingest, I retain, assess and I change, possessed by the thought I'll be free one day from society's restraints. Money,
This is the value of wrestling, the revolutionary force in wrestling podcasting.
It's your boy Miguel Z with the Value of Wrestling New Japan Rebound Podcast. I've got a guest for you folks at Stockton Con.
What up, everybody? AJ Kirsch here, the voice and the host of Stockton Con. The value of wrestling is awesome, so subscribe on YouTube. Scan the QR code right here, now. Subscribe, check it out.
There we go.
You'll be glad you did.
Thank you, brother.
Yeah, that's what. Hey, man, shout out to Value of Wrestling. I'm right here with the Big O's, San Jose. We gonna shut the shit down. Love and respect, all right? Value of Wrestling. Hello.
Man, thank you, brother. Thank
Oh, you didn't know? You better call somebody. Ladies and gentlemen, I guess we've been having some technical difficulties, but we got them all figured out, and we are here to do it. We are here to party. We are here to do it like we do it each and every week. This is the Value of Wrestling. This is your Monday night post-show review for May 13th. We're going to discuss everything that happened down on Monday Night Raw.
Yep. Bless you, sir.
Okay, you guys could have, like, taken from there. I couldn't. Ran
Some
with
of
it,
us have
said
ADD and don't know where to just go off out of nowhere.
Anywho.
Squirrel.
I was talking about myself, but okay.
Yes. Anyways, this is your post-show review for Monday night for May 13th, 2024. The King of the Ring tournament has taken place again. We are in the next round, and we've gotten to the final rounds. And, yeah, what an interesting night. Gentlemen, tell me what you think. What is your opening comments to tonight's Raw?
Interesting directions.
Yeah, that I could definitely agree with. That was a little different tonight. Not what I expected to happen.
And especially the way they set it up, too, throughout the show.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I'm going to sneeze again.
Uh-oh.
Well, it's the big sneeze. It's a big bad sneeze for you.
All right. Anyways, we opened the show. We had a bunch of people walking around backstage coming in. Drew McIntyre's walking in with a head of steam towards the ring, and he is here to talk to us. He says, we keep taking Punk back. Why did you have to jump screen? It's like an abusive relationship. He doesn't understand it. We buy all the crap he spews. He calls us stupid even though he doesn't like to. Last week, Punk calls him a coward, not showing up until he leaves. It's like he's got a stooge on the inside and blames Adam Pearce. The week before, Drew on stage. Punk was in the skybox. Punk is running from him. He would not waste his time on a person who may not be cleared for another 20 years. And speaking of things that'll never happen, Jay lost another title match. His spot in the King of the Ring tournament. He brings up Priest, calls him a paper champion, and this brings out Priest. Damian Priest comes out with what seems like new music. What? No, it's his individual music. Complete with him saying, all rise, repeatedly, among other things in the background. Priest snickers. Why do people put in their own? It's the same music. It's the music he's been using when he comes out solo. Idiot. Priest snickers at Drew's as he makes his entrance and grabs the mic. He says Drew has some serious issues since Drew can't shut his hole. How about he does something different? How about Drew says what he says to someone's face? Priest would love to, but Punk keeps running away. Since Priest is here, he'll say something positive. He knows Priest's story isn't inspirational. He's paid his dues. He deserves it all, but not just to be champion. Drew says his neighbor Dave has a great story too, but he shouldn't be champion. This is a case of the title making the man. The title is in its infant stage. It needs the man to make the title. It needs Drew. Priest knew he couldn't beat Drew one-on-one, so he used the briefcase. Priest calls him delusional, saying he's blaming everyone for his failure. He didn't choose this life. He chose to be... asked him, didn't he choose this life? He chose to be a WWE superstar. He should choose to find the mirror and blame the asshole in the mirror. He wanted to cash in on Rollins. He and Drew could have went to war at Mania, but Drew stopped him multiple times, and that is Drew's fault. Drew explained that if Priest was smart, he'd wait for Drew to beat Seth, then cash in on him, and that's on Drew. Then Mania comes. He finally won, and all he had to do was leave, but he stayed. He gloated. He saw Punk. It made him more important than the title and his wife. He also got his butt beat by a one-armed man. So, yeah, Priest cashed in. Drew will heal. He'll get cleared. If Drew wants a shot, he's got it. He can call Priest a paper champ all he wants. When he's done with Drew, he'll eat those words. So, big interesting confrontation between Drew McIntyre and Damian Priest to start off the show. Very interesting how this plays out. And what they're setting up here, Priest coming off more as a babyface and Drew the heel, as Damian Priest is the leader, or the current leader of Judgment Day.
The de facto leader.
Yes.
Yeah.
So it is very interesting. Your thoughts?
Well, the real question is with Damian Priest, tell me where the lies are, which is why he's coming off as a face, because he's making complete sense. Drew McIntyre is doing pretty well, though, with just coming out with crap just to make the story interesting.
I was going to say, this isn't the first time a one-armed man has taken advantage of a situation and beat the hell out of somebody. But, it works. It worked for what it was.
Well, it's a good way to keep Punk hot and get heat between him and Drew to continue their story until Punk is completely cleared. And now it looks like Drew McIntyre and Damian Priest are going to square up. So this will be interesting how this plays out. How does Punk play a role into this? Where is this going to lead? How soon are we going to get this match? It should be very interesting. We covered the Queen of the Ring tournament from last week, how we got to where we are today. After that, we had to an earlier tonight where Shayna and Io got into a shoving match. And Io makes her entrance as she poses on the rope. Shayna Baszler comes from off screen to choke her down to the mat outside attack. Ref breaks them up, and we start our match. This is Queen of the Ring qualifying match. Io Sky versus Shayna Baszler.
Quarterfinals, not qualifying.
Yeah.
Quarterfinals. It was interesting that we've had Stardom talked about on both Dynamite and WWE TV in the last week now. As Michael Cole brings up Stardom tonight. And we got a good solid match between these two, back and forth. Shayna Baszler looking strong, but in the end, Io on her knees. Baszler runs with a kick, but Io catches. Dragon screw Io with a running double knee to the chest, steps on the stomach to the top rope, over the moonsault. 1, 2, 3. This match went 10 minutes, 49 seconds. This was a good, solid match. Io Sky, Shayna Baszler bringing it. Io Sky moving along to the semifinals next week on Raw, and whoever wins there will take on the winner of SmackDown in the women's or the King of the Ring tournament at the King and Queen of the Ring event. That'll be on Saudi Arabia on the 25th of May on Sunday. Live from Saudi Arabia. Io gets some mic time after her match. She is asked what's next. Io speaks Japanese, but basically alludes to being champion again. Good, solid match. Io Sky, they're going to continue building her. Hopefully, Shayna Baszler looked really good tonight, so hopefully they have plans for her to be considered something in the future. But good, solid match here.
I'm a little surprised because they did talk about, how even they had their rivalry, if you will, in NXT. I'm surprised that Shayna Baszler didn't try to break her arm or anything, like the way, she used to.
Well, I mean, they did bring up too that she wasn't the only one from Damage Control she had issues with. She has a rivalry with the other one, Kairi Sane from the Mae Young Classic, and she was the woman to take the belt from Kairi before Kairi went to main roster.
Yeah, but overall, it was a good, solid match. For what it was, Io Sky moving along, and we'll have to see what she does and who her opponent is going to be later next week, later in the show. But a good, solid event, a good, solid match right there. But I definitely am happy to see at least Shayna Baszler get a little bit of a time there to look like she might have won it and get a little bit of attention. Because we know Shayna Baszler has kind of been in a holding pattern, it seems, more or less. And we'll have to see how that lot works out going forward. There we go. Welcome to the show. Thank you for joining us. If you're in the chat, go ahead and join in the conversation at any point in time. Tell us what you thought of tonight's show. Make sure you hit the like button and give this a big thumbs up. And backstage, we are chatting with Judgment Day along with Carlito and Dominic Mysterio. It thinks it's time to speak. Carlito says Rhea's out. Dom is injured. They could use some muscle. All he is saying is they can all benefit mutually. Priest says this is all sounds good. If the boys want to work with him, that's good. As far as Priest is concerned, Carlito is not welcome here. Carlito gets it. Priest doesn't trust him. He wants to just say this: the most stubborn minds can be changed. Maybe one day they can all be friends. And he goes off singing, "Why can't we be friends? Why can't we be friends? Why can't we be friends?" Seems that's the going theme in WWE. Nobody wants to be friends, because after that we got backstage with Chad Gable, and he's with the rest of Alpha Academy. He berates Maxine for her loss over the weekend. He says tonight he has some action booked. We get Otis versus Bronson, and then he changes it. Says, no, I want Otis against Sammy, and Akira versus Bronson Reed, and tells Akira if he dances that stupid dance, so help him. Chad Gable leaves the area. Ivy Nile comes in to tell Maxine that she could have helped her with the Queen of the Ring tournament, or the Queen of the Ring qualifying match. Maxine tells her that Gable told her she could no longer train outside of the academy. Gable comes back to tell Maxine to go away. He gives Ivy some advice and tells her to stay away from the Taylor Not So Swift.
Oh, hell.
Even WWE making punchlines out of this. But Chad Gable doesn't want any friends either.
No,
From
not
this,
at all.
We head back down to the ringside where Samantha is in the ring, and we see the previous ring announcer for WWE, longtime ring announcer, Lillian Garcia, and Samantha asks her to introduce the next match and gives her a warm welcome. So it's nice to see Lillian Garcia tonight. R-Truth is backstage with Pierce. In comes The Miz to tell Truth to stop making title matches. Adam says they will not be defending the titles tonight, but he and Truth were talking about tag team number one contenders. In comes Kiana James, who will be adjudicating for Mr. Pierce. And we're going to get Kofi Kingston versus Gunther. Before the match, Kofi attacks. He flies outside onto Gunther, then attacks the legs, swinging Gunther's legs into the LED board. Kofi with a stomp to the knee. He hits a right hand, but Gunther gets a chop in. Kofi stalls. Gunther whips him to the stairs. Kofi runs up the corner, then turns and flies onto Gunther. Kofi sends Gunther in the ring, grabs the legs, and drops some axes on the knees. He pulls Gunther to the post and swings his legs into him. Kofi to the apron. He enters the ring. Kofi lays the boot across the ropes, then pulls it down to lock up the legs. Kofi hits the ropes and dives with the drop kick to the side of the legs, and the bell rings, and they notice that the referee didn't even check on the ability of Gunther to continue this match or even start this match. And boy, we got a good match between Gunther and Kofi Kingston here. They really tried to make Kofi look like he was going to upset Gunther in this tournament. Kofi getting a beautiful showcase, even hitting SOS outside the ring and in the ring, getting near falls. Eventually he goes for a Trouble in Paradise. The ref hits 8. Kofi makes it into the ring. Gunther stands at 8, turns at 9, runs into the ring before 10. Kofi is standing in the corner, runs, tries for another Trouble in Paradise, but Gunther sidesteps, catches Kofi with a huge, nasty powerbomb. We get a 1-2. Kofi tries to kick out, but in the process of kicking out, because Gunther had him folded over in the powerbomb, so he pushed up against Gunther. Gunther took that momentum and turned it into a vicious Boston Crab, where he completely sat on the back of Kofi and just pulled back. Kofi eventually had to give in. This was a solid match. Went 13 minutes, 59 seconds. I think Kofi and Gunther gave us exactly what we needed tonight, exactly what we wanted to see. Gunther moving on in this tournament. Who will he face? We'll talk about that later, but good solid match in this quarterfinal match for the King of the Ring tournament. Gunther moving along.
I mean, Kofi did everything he could to win the match, but also defend Woods' title, if you will.
Yes.
You know,
that was a big part of the story, was Kofi was doing this and had to do this for Xavier. So,
I mean, he gave it a great shot. I mean, there's just nothing to be mad about.
No, this was the perfect one. Yeah, this was the perfect example of little guy. Kofi did everything under the sun that he could, and just got outmanned and outmatched. And finally, his momentum got the best of him and got wrapped up in the old Boston Crab. But I was going to make a statement real quick. Lillian Garcia doing the ring announcing just one time. I'll tell you what, it gave me chills. That nostalgia factor for a minute there was a thing. It was a real good feel-good moment for everybody.
Alrighty. Backstage, Valkyria is being interviewed about helping Becky. In comes Becky to hug her and thank her before she can get any real talk in. Liv Morgan comes up to her to welcome her to Raw, then ask if Becky has always been such a bitch. Lyra tells Liv to ask her for herself as Becky is standing behind Liv. Becky slaps Liv, calling her a bitch, and walks away. Backstage, we see Kofi is walking, holding his back. He is stopped as he passes Karrion Kross. Karrion Kross yells out, Kofi, tells him tough talk, but don't worry, there's always more time to turn things around. Very ominous statement here by Karrion Kross. Xavier walks in with some ice for Kofi, asks what Kross wanted, and Kofi says he doesn't know. Hopefully Xavier doesn't get entranced with Karrion Kross as he did with Bray Wyatt. And hopefully Mr. Miguel Z doesn't get his entranced with Marty Richards this Wednesday on your post show for AEW Dynamite. As they will go face to face live right here on the Value Wrestling, right here on YouTube. How dare I? I mean, it's just the facts. You asked for this. How can you say, how dare I? Who was the one who's always been
I didn't ask.
Who asked for
I
Marty
did not
Richards?
ask.
Yes, you did. How many times have you asked for Marty Richards?
That
How
I
many
did.
times?
No.
point.
Let us get straight here. Let's get straight here. I've asked for Marty. I didn't ask to review Dynamite. So the lesser two evils I'll deal with.
Tick. No. Let's rewind here. You've been calling for Marty to do a lot of things. You've been calling for interaction with Marty Richards for many, many, many months. You've been pushing that envelope, knocking on the door, waiting for that time. And then you somehow hurt yourself at work, which we still don't know all the full little details on this. And then said, I could do the shows this week with you guys. So yes, you did volunteer to help assist in review shows this week, all the way till next Thursday. So in a way, yes, you did it to yourself.
Bring on Wednesday.
Yes. It'll be here very, very soon.
Although sometimes you have to wonder who's really pulling the strings. Who in the background also endorsed Marty and you to work together?
That would make for a strange situation.
No.
There wouldn't be a child of a strange nature that would have been elements of that. Anyways,
I don't know.
next up we had Bronson Reed versus Akira Tozawa. And you're like, oh, okay, cool. This match went 1 minute, 10 seconds. It was a squishy, squashy, squash match. Akira had a few moments there at the beginning where you thought he was going to do something, and it all went downhill. Gable constantly just screaming at him what to do, and then when Akira didn't follow Gable's directions, then Gable was screaming, I didn't tell him to do that. I didn't teach him that. So we've got this new Chad Gable for sure. Bronson Reed, 1 minute, 10 seconds. Big tsunami. I saw that they had to bring a spatula to scrape Akira Tozawa off the mat.
That's a lot of dude to come off that top rope. I'll tell you what. Woo!
Yeah.
Or Akira. I bet somebody should. That's when somebody should have popped up, and when he was laying there on the mat and go, that's nasty. Or that's when Chad Gable should have jumped in the ring and go, you know what, Akira? That's nasty. And then walked off.
Yeah. I don't understand Gable's his demeanor now. I mean, I know he's mad, he's PO'd at the world, and
what do you not get?
I'm trying to gauge it like a Kurt Angle of like his earlier run when he started to go heel when he had no hair and was wearing the wig, or what?
What?
This is how he's coming off.
I don't know how you see that one, but the story is really simple because he couldn't win the IC title. He's taking it out on his team.
Yeah.
Well, he couldn't win the IC title. He snapped. Now he's doing it for himself, and now he's making his people respect him. A normal heel that's ahead of a stable with some basic baby faces that'll eventually snap and turn on him. And that's fine and dandy. I kind of like where it's going, but I don't know where we're getting. I don't know if there's any real comparison to Angle in this. This is just he's led this group. They're not winning, which is pretty much the facts. None of these people are really winning, so I can get where he's the pissed off coach. I mean, they made plenty of references about this tonight with Michael Cole going to Pat McAfee. Also, what it was like to have a coach or a Little League coach. I mean, they made every
I heard that one. I heard that reference.
The out of control Little League coach.
McAfee goes, I was a punter.
Yeah, an out of control coach, somebody who's like, you have to win at all costs. So, I mean, this is kind of what we're getting. This is, Coach Gable's gone mad with power and the inability to win. So, it's a story we're going to have to wait to see how it plays out. But he's going to get an Intercontinental title shot along with Bronson Reed in Saudi Arabia at the King and the Queen pay-per-view or PLE. So there's a triple threat Intercontinental title match there.
Can we get Bronson to do a tsunami on both of these men? That's what I'm kind of hoping for.
Is it Bronson's time is the bigger question.
Yeah.
Well, also, just because he gets the tsunami doesn't mean he gets the pin.
No,
I just want to see the tsunami. That's it.
You probably will see a tsunami.
Just flatten him out one time.
Will we get the win? I don't know.
No. Yeah. I just want to see if we can hit on both of them.
Backstage, Gunther and Ludwig Kaiser are walking. Kathy stops them, but Gunther leaves as Kaiser addresses Kathy, asking why she is bothering Gunther. She brings up Ilya Dragunov and their time in NXT. Kaiser says, we are talking about the most successful IC champion of all time. Gunther doesn't have to prove anything to anyone around her. As for Sheamus, if anyone out there believes, even if Sheamus believes, that he lost because of Kaiser, he's delusional. Sheamus has had a legendary career, but one thing he never achieved is beating Gunther. Never happened, never going to happen. Gunther should be next to Kaiser. Sheamus should be next to Kaiser, thanking him because he saved Sheamus. If Sheamus has a problem with that, Kaiser will put him out of his misery. He will expose and embarrass him. I was kind of shocked that Sheamus wasn't standing there. And so I guess we're going to get Kaiser versus Sheamus. But this was a whole moment. We figured they'd just pan the camera and there'd be Sheamus standing just kind of off catty corner. But we didn't get that. So very interesting situation here. Jackie is backstage with Adam Pearce and wants to know what his big announcement is. In comes the new Catch Republic. Pearce says he has a fatal four-way tonight. The winner will get the title shot against the tag team champions, and that'll be later. Jackie has another question. Why wasn't Braun Breaker included in the King of the Ring tournament? Pearce talked to him last week. The guys he's had on Raw earned it. He doesn't want to shove Braun in the deep end. And watch Braun Breaker. He wouldn't have been in the deep end. He would have drugged them all underwater and watched them drown. He smiled. He should have been in the damn tournament. I don't know. I think you want to keep Bronson Reed out of this tournament. You don't want to. His matches need to be short, quick, and fast. And I don't, with the predictable winners here, I don't see where Braun Breaker would have really fit. Of course, now it looks like maybe we're going to have issues between Braun Breaker and Adam Pearce. Maybe we're going to get a heel Braun Breaker, which might work out nicely.
I think he makes a good face, but he's a better heel.
Mm-hmm. We got Pat McAfee barking for a good couple minutes afterwards.
There we got the other Queen of the Ring quarterfinal matchup, Lyra Valkyrie versus Zoe Starks. Another good solid match here, back and forth. Zoe Starks looking really strong here. Lyra with a smack, Zoe with a kick. She tries for a Z260? I thought it was a Z360.
It's 360.
360.
Okay.
360.
This person doesn't know what the move is. Lyra counters it into a Nightwing. Well, he said Z260. I might know it's a 360.
I see.
The Lyra counters into a Nightwing for a cover. 1, 2, 3. Lyra Valkyria is the winner at 8 minutes 57 seconds. This should be interesting. She will be going up against Io Sky for the semifinals, or the final match in Raw to see who will face the winner of SmackDown in the Women's King of the Ring tournament. Lyra is interviewed by Jackie Redmond in the ring after the match. Lyra has a message for Io. She says she is so confident She speaks some Gaelic, then says she only travels as the crow flies, straight to the top. Good solid match here, gentlemen.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I mean, there's nothing to complain about here. That's for sure.
Yeah.
You got the new upstart on main roster, with Lyra. Zoe Stark's looking strong. It was kind of a flip of a coin on which one they were going to push to go over.
Yeah,
but
that's just one of those where I didn't know who they were pushing for this one, because both of them are very, very talented. So no complaints on who won this one.
Mm-hmm. But ultimately, we know next week Io's going over.
Yeah,
maybe
that's my prediction.
Maybe they're going to build Lyra Valkyrie, and it depends on who's going to win on the SmackDown side too. So
yeah.
That's a fair assessment.
From here, we went to Jey Uso, the main event. Jey Uso, the man who stole the moniker from Mr. Paulus Clarke, the Eater of Worlds. Jey Uso, he stole Mr. Clarke's. Mr. Clarke was the Eater of World, the original Eater of Worlds, as proclaimed right here on the Value of Wrestling.
Someone's been watching our show.
Yeah, we were saying that before they even used it. But anyway, Jey Uso proclaimed himself the Eater of Worlds. He gets a promo on Ilya Dragunov and Gunther. Jey Uso looks like he's prime and ready. From there, we're in the ring. It's Sami Zayn versus Otis. Gable out here with Otis. Otis seems stressed. He turns to Sami, then to Gable. Otis looks through the crowd. He turns to see Sami on the ground. Otis' legs are shaking. He feels it. Gable hops on the apron and yells no. Otis seems stressed. He turns to Sami, then he turns to Gable. Otis rips his shirt away and gets his warm on. Elbow drop. Gable on the apron. He yells at Otis, tells him to get up on the top rope. Otis climbs, flies off. Sami moves out of the way. Otis gets back up, gets down with a haluva kick. This match went 2 minutes. Sami Zayn's your big winner. Chad Gable goes into the ring after the match to attack Otis, but Sami runs in to make the save. Sends Gable out of the ring. Otis checks on Gable. Gable screams that this is Otis' fault anyways, then slaps him hard. Otis stands stunned as the crowd chants for him. Gable demands Otis follow him to the back as the crowd chants for Otis. Good solid match here. Another good win for Sami. We know Sami is going to take on Chad Gable and Bronson Reed at the King and the Queen. PLE, the Intercontinental title's on the line. Is Sami going to be a short-term champion? Is this finally going to be Chad Gable's moment to win this title? If not, how many more chances does he really get to deserve it? And how many more times can Bronson Reed wrestle in the same situation? It's going to be very interesting. Both these men, I feel we're going to get an Intercontinental title change here. Why? Chad Gable or Bronson Reed need to win this title by now. They both have had too many matches for this title. If Sami beats them both again in this match, where do we really go from here?
Who knows?
Well, the problem is that then you would have Gable and Bronson Reed looking like, we represent the little booches, we keep losing. So I kind of agree with you. One of them's got to win.
Yeah, something's got to give at this point, because they've had, like you said, they've won too many times, have had a shot and came up short. And with the way they're building Gable since Sami's won, even after he was won it, and you had all the fallout from that, yeah, something's got to give. We'll have to see something here.
And on top of that, Sami does not have to take the loss. I mean, he doesn't have to take the pin.
No. From there, we go backstage with Braun Strowman. He is hyping up the Creed brothers, talking high about them when JD McDonough comes in to make threats to Braun Strowman for some random reason. He wants to go make a challenge. I don't know. It was really weird. Braun Strowman just kind of laughed it off. It was kind of like, this is like, I don't know. It was very confusing to see JD McDonough coming out of nowhere and threatening Braun Strowman. You're just like, yeah, I know that.
That's when you needed Braun Strowman to pick him up and be like, hey.
And that's when
Bronson. I don't know why they sent the child to warn Braun Strowman.
Watch out for the Judgment Day. He should have been like, look, you need to shut up before I send you back to Munchkin Land.
Basically.
Yeah.
or looked at him and goes, does Willy Wonka know you're out of the factory?
Damn.
From there, we went on to the WWE World Women's Champion Becky Lynch taking on Dakota Kai. Good solid match through and through. Go ahead, somebody take it.
Go ahead, Paul.
Anyways, it was a good solid match through and through. Dakota Kai, Becky Lynch. What you expect from this? She locks the head, grabs the arm, suplex, armbar. Dakota rolls into a pin for 2. Becky with a pin to 2. Kai with the pin. Becky gets into the disarmer, and here comes Io and Kairi Sane to attack, getting the match thrown out. Becky Lynch wins by DQ. This match went 9 minutes, 57 seconds. A good showing for the match. Just what you expect when Becky locks on that disarmer for damage control to get involved. After the match is over, after the bell rings, Lyra runs down to make the save. Her and Becky make short work of damage control. But Liv Morgan runs down to attack Becky Lynch from behind while Lyra is distracted. So lots of feud going on here. You have Becky and Liv Morgan setting up for their continued feud. And then you have Damage Control playing their point. Lyra Valkyrie getting into the middle of all this. A lot of things brewing here in the women's division. Who's what and who can you trust would be the bigger question. Becky Lynch better watch her back. And I hear the song from Fast and the Furious, the original one, you know, watch your back.
Lyra's been, you know, a face for the time being. I mean, I guess they could change her at any point if they really wanted to, but I think her trajectory is to be on the straight and narrow for the time being.
Yes.
Yeah.
But they're definitely setting up a kinship between her and Becky, which we know how that story goes in the long term. So
they've been doing that since Lyra took the NXT title from her.
Yes.
Yeah.
So definitely setting up for something long term in that storyline. Leon Dragunov says some claim this is a dream to be here. For him, it's not enough to just be here. He is here to make an impact night in and night in and night out. It starts with him becoming the czar of the ring. He will bring the same kind of fight to Jey Uso that he did last week. He knows Jey is ready for a battle, but what is waiting on the other side is a different kind of animal. He is more than that, though. He is different kind of he's a different kind of dragon. He beat Gunther, and it's not over. Gunther is standing by. He looks at Elian up and down, and then smirks as he walks by. Good little promo here for them.
Yeah, I was kind of a little surprised that they actually brought up. I mean, you know, we as podcasters bringing up that Ilya has beaten Gunther before was one thing, but to officially, you know, like, let's remind the people, for those who didn't watch it, this has happened. This is a feud that matters.
And it was a good one. It was a damn good match. They took each other's heads off for this one. And I honestly was fingers crossed going to see this again.
Oh, they've got to run it back at some point. They're booking themselves in a corner already.
They're booking it. They're going to create it, but they're holding off on it for sure. Because we'll talk about that in a moment. But yeah, it's coming. They're building it in one way or another. How is it going to play out? I don't know. But we got an interesting twist in what we thought we were going to see.
If I'm not mistaken, when they did it, they had no fans.
I don't recall on that one. I do remember it was for the UK title.
That's why I'm wondering did we have fans during that era? Because if not, I cannot wait to see this in front of people.
Yes. All right. The Fatal 4-Way Tag Team match. They claim new #1 contenders. Gentlemen, solid match. Tell me your thoughts on this match. Talk about this match. And I will be right back.
So you had the Judgment Day versus New Catch Republic versus the Creed Brothers versus Authors of Pain. Bate and Ballard start. Finn corners Bate to tags in JD. JD stomps between the legs. Bate locks the head with his legs and crawls over to Pete, tags him in, then it's Rana. Dunn and Bate with a back body drop. Pete works the fingers, flexing them around, then stopping the elbow. Tag and both Creed brothers are in. They double team JD, kicks them away, but Akam and Razor enter to clean house. Bate runs in and gets slammed down, then Pete runs in and gets body slammed onto Bate. Double team sends JD outside onto everyone, leaving AOP to stand tall. We come back to JD and Finn double teaming Brutus. They send New Capture Republic off the apron and Brutus. Julius wants to tag. Brutus slow crawls to the corner. Tag to Julius, locks the waist, belly to Finn, to JD, kip up, drop kick to Akam. Finn kicks JD, catches double team, but Julius locks hips of both and double Northern Light suplex. If you want to go ahead and tag in.
All right, so we had the Vince. Are we there? All right, I'm gonna sneeze again. I can feel it. I hate this. We get to the end of the match. Carlito comes in and does a backstabber to Dunn on the table. Sends JD, sends Dunn inside Finn Balor up to the top rope with the coup de grace. Judgment Day of JD McDonough and Finn Balor getting the big win here. 10-minute, 41-second. Good solid match here. Was kind of shocked to see Judgment Day get this win and move on. They will be facing the Awesome Truth. So we'll have to see how this all plays out. Your thoughts on the match, gentlemen, overall?
I'm shocked that they had Judgment Day run it back and possibly get a, like I said, get technically a shot at another crack at the tag titles after the other two. Well, one half is now, running around with the world title versus being his tag team partner for this run, this go.
Well, we're getting Judgment Day where they should be. I mean, I think that's kind of right. They were the tag team champions. They lost it in a ladder match. They haven't really had a shot to rematch the titles. Of course, Damian Priest is now the world champion, so it kind of moves him out of that. So giving this position to JD McDonough to run it with Finn Balor, these two guys that we've been wanting to see work together. And with Dominic being out, I would have said, I would have been more of Dominic JD, but since Dominic's injured, I get why Finn Balor is being put in this role. But it's interesting. We'll have to see how it plays out. Of course, after the match, Priest and Dom are talking. In comes JD and Finn with Carlito. Priest tells Carlito that was cool, and then warns him not to let them down when he faces Rey Mysterio. So, is Carlito going to get in the Judgment Day? What is this part going to play? How's this all going to play out? It's going to be very, very interesting going forward.
Yeah.
Anywho, I had to step away. I could sneeze. I had to clean out my nose there. I don't know why all of a sudden I'm sneezing. Anywho.
Allergies is bad.
I take my allergy medicine every morning, I know. Anyways, it's the main event. It's the King of the Queen. It's the King of the Ring quarterfinal match. Jey Uso versus Ilya Dragunov. And what a banger of a match we got here. I guess I pulled this up a little too early because they don't have the breakdown here. I know, I'm getting there. But Jey Uso, Ilya Dragunov was a damn good match. I mean, this went back and forth. I was shot more at the end here. We eventually get a running knee. This time, Ilya lifts up, powerbomb to Jey. Oh, now the stream wants to be a booty boo. I don't know why the stream's beating booty boo. Anyways, Jey H-bomb cover for a 2. Ilya on up. Spear from Jey Uso to the top rope. He flies. Uso splash. 1, 2, 3. Match went 12 minutes, 47 seconds. Ilya Dragunov takes his first loss on Monday Night Raw on the main roster. I am surprised. I thought we were going to get Ilya versus Gunther in this tournament, but we're not. Jey Uso's the man. But it was a hard one to call because you're like, do you really let Jey lose here? Do you let Ilya lose here? I was surprised it was a clean loss to either of these guys. what does this mean? Could we see Ilya? Is this more of a start that we're not necessarily going to see Ilya Dragunov versus Gunther? Are we going to see Ilya Dragunov pick up the vacated spot by Giovanni Vinci? Are they going to put him in Imperium and align him with Gunther before they really let him and Gunther go at it? Because that is a that is a WrestleMania-esque match, Gunther versus Ilya Dragunov. What do you do to kind of keep these guys?
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
What do you do in the interim? Because you're not at a SummerSlam, you're not at a WrestleMania right now. What do you do with these two that a lot of people, you're teasing a lot of stuff here, but it's not just time to pull that trigger yet. So maybe they line these guys together.
That's a possibility.
I don't know.
You gotta find some kind of side quest before you get to the main event, obviously.
I mean, that's a good possibility. All I'm thinking now is, all I can keep thinking to myself is, they want to obviously make some money off this match, so they got to figure out something.
Well, again, it's a WrestleMania SummerSlam. It's a big PLE match. So what do you do in the interim until you can get there? And I think the best might be, especially since they just vacated that spot with Giovanni Vinci. And, of course, after this match, Gunther walked down, and Ilya Dragunov was standing on the outside of the ring next to the rampway when Gunther walked down. Gunther looked at him, kind of gave him a smirk grin, got in the ring, and went face with Jey Uso. Uso's ready to take on Gunther. So, I mean, where do you put Ilya Dragunov? Is Ilya Dragunov going to be aligning with him next week? Could Ilya Dragunov be upset that he got beat by Jey and come down and help Gunther get the win and align himself until we move forward?
Is it possible? Sure. I just don't know if that's a bit soon.
Well, what do you do with Ilya Dragunov then? Where do you take him from here?
I'm not even going to try to play the Booker Man to this one.
I won't be surprised if they align.
I'm not real sure.
Gunther. I won't be surprised if he aligns with Gunther.
Well, I mean, that's been a rumor as a possibility ever since we had this idea that Ilya was coming to main roster.
Because now you have Gunther versus Jey Uso. That's really hard to book both those men in the corner, because either of those guys winning is great, but either of those guys losing, I'm thinking that you may have a dusty finish. You're going to have some type of screw finish with Gunther winning over Jey Uso. So Jey Uso and Gunther continued their feud later because Gunther got that win to the King of the Ring tournament dirty. So I don't know how this is all going to play out. Of course, we could see
that seems like it seems like that'd be the only way to do it, so you don't hurt both of them.
I know. And maybe we'll get Jey Uso and Ilya Dragunov teaming up against Gunther and Ludwig Kaiser after the King of the Ring tournament. Maybe we'll build on that feud a little more. Maybe we'll see Ilya eventually turn on Jey Uso. Jey Uso is really a guy that you can turn on, as we can see so many times. How much longer do we have before Jey Uso and his brother are going to realign? We know that's a long-term story. He's going to have to realign with his brother. He's probably going to realign with Roman to take on the other aspects of the bloodline that are slowly growing. And then we have the biggest wild card that we are promised to see on TV soon. It still hasn't shown up. Where is the Samoan werewolf, Jacob Fatu? Other than the fact that he's right here on the Value of Wrestling. Whenever we go live, he helps open the show. But yes, where is he otherwise? A lot of questions, a lot of stuff. Building to a good, solid pay-per-view. I think King and Queen of the Ring PLE is being built to better than Double or Nothing. Which one are you more excited about?
King and Queen of the Ring. Hands down.
Yeah, absolutely.
Long-term storytelling going on there, folks.
That, and they keep showing the QR codes. King and Queen of the Ring might be the destination to finally kick that off.
Exactly. Yeah.
Well,
you got to remember, someone did say they control the Fireflies now.
Yeah, the Eater of Worlds, and we're not talking Mr. Clarke anymore. Mm-hmm. We're talking the main event, Jey Uso. I'm gonna have to contact WWE and say, hey, they can't steal. That's a gimmick infringement. We already had the Eater of Worlds here.
Can we get some royalties for that?
Yes, exactly. We got the Eater of Worlds, and if you're here on Sunday, so you give you the Clarke report, or maybe we should call it the Eater of Worlds report.
Oh God. My
we
ninja,
like the
what is
Clarke
wrong with you?
report. We like the Clarke
Do
report.
I look like a Kira
Needs
Tozawa?
music. That's all it needs.
I know, ninja. Secret agent man.
Ew, you're nasty.
Yeet, yeet, yeet.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yummy.
Anyways,
Yeah.
yeah. Because everybody's saying the value of wrestling. Yeah. Anyway, a good solid Raw. We've had 5 votes tonight, so it looks like good won over awesome and average, but a good breakdown. Nobody found the show boring this week. That is awesome. So we didn't either nobody found it boring, and we didn't have any AEW hard tribalists in the room tonight. So Tony Khan didn't decide to show up and make a mockery of it all. Anyway, gentlemen, anything else you want to say before we wrap up this show?
It's time for me to go to bed, so good night, folks.
Look forward to tomorrow, folks. That's for sure.
Yes,
I'll see you tomorrow.
You will see the New Japan Pro Wrestling Rebound podcast brought to you by Miguel Z. That'll be up on the channel tomorrow. Wednesdays, Miguel Z will be here with Marty Richards. The Almighty One will be here with Miguel Z. Mr. Yeet has finally yeeted himself into a corner as he will have to sit down and carry a show with Marty Richards as he's asked for so long. His desires have finally come true. And I'm telling you, this laughter comes from nervousness. Don't let him fool you, folks. He may be laughing now.
Good luck.
I'm waiting for. Can we please get 2 individuals to show up because Marty's been calling for them. Maybe they might actually show up and watch this show for once.
Well, I guess we can put out the tweets to Brandon Cutler. Tell him that there's a very important show for him to watch. So come to church on Wednesday. That's the value of wrestling. It's going to bring you your Dynamite post-show review. That's Mr. Miguel Z will enter the Church of the Almighty for the first time. And we're not talking Bobby Lashley. We're talking Marty Richards here. I hope you're ready, sir. I hope you know what you're getting to.
That's going to be fun, folks.
Thursdays, you got This Weekend Preview. And then Fridays, we will be back with your SmackDown post-show review. The other half of the King and the Queen of the Ring tournament. The other half of the quarterfinal matches will take place on SmackDown, leading to next week's shows where we're going to get the semifinals and finally get some of the final parts into what's going to happen at the King and the Queen ring of the tournament in Saudi Arabia. And we'll see what happens on Dynamite, how we continue the sad, sad story that is Dynamite as we build to a worthless card called Double or Nothing.
Lackluster.
Worthless. I've said like one match is worth the time, and that's Serena Deeb versus Toni Storm. And I am not even a big supporter of Toni Storm's character right now. And that says a lot right there. Because I look at the rest of it and I'm like, now, granted, we could talk about how great Will Ospreay is. And yes, he'll probably carry Roderick Strong to a great match. But I'm just like, why?
Because we need a new international champion, apparently.
But we're ruining the Undisputed Kingdom in a heartbeat with that move. They're Ring of Honor Tag Team Champions. I mean, you know. Of course, there's a report out that Wardlow wants out of AEW now. That he's very unhappy with his current
I wonder why.
position.
Right.
Rinse, repeat, rinse, repeat, rinse, repeat. I'm sure I would be tired of the same thing. You know the definition of insanity, right? Doing the same thing over and over again and expecting different results. Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Somebody needs to teach Tony Khan the definition of insanity because we see what's happening. But Anarchy in the Asylum will be great because Team AEW, yay!
Against the founders of TNA, well, half of them anyways.
So what's going to be better?
Gotta remember, folks, Eddie Kingston is injured. He's not going in this healthy.
Supposedly.
Yeah.
So what would be better? Is it Team AEW versus the Elite, or if we throw it back to WWE when Team WWE took on Team ECW WCW?
At least that one meant something.
This is true.
But did it? The Alliance versus WWE?
Well, they did
Yes
have
and no.
they did have who was going to control the company. Even though it was an easy sell, at least they had more on the lines or more behind it than just, hey, yay. Like, Team AEW doesn't even have, like,
I just want everybody to know right now, there's a lot of dark blue spots for Double or Nothing. So there's still tickets left, folks. There's still tickets left for this great show that's coming up.
Or save your money next
If you want to show
April,
up day of, you might get them for like $6.
or you might get paid. Or you
Buy
might
one, get one, folks.
you
Buy one,
might-
get one.
You might get paid to go to the show if you fill in as a seat filler.
Really? Okay.
They might pay
How
you.
much paying?
They might pay you to come watch the show. They'll give
I
you
don't
a
know.
whole-
After Wednesday, they
$15.
might pay Marty.
Yeah, they might. Anywho, but if you don't want to go to Double or Nothing, save your money because coming next April to Las Vegas, to Allegiant Stadium, not the MGM Grand Arena, will be WrestleMania 41, where we hope to be, and soon we will have some ways to help get support on building that towards the future. And yeah, what is going on here? Okay, flashbacks. Let's get out of
If
here.
you help get Mr. Clarke to wrestle. Yep, there
What?
you go.
Okay.
I was going to say, if we can get Mr. Clarke out there,
We're going to
he'll
say
dance.
goodnight because YouTube is seeming to not be happy at the moment. So let's get out of here and say goodnight. Tell them good night, gentlemen.
good
Hey,
night,
gentlemen.
gentlemen.
I wanna be the best in the game, invest in my name, check no restraints, I'm obsessed with the pain. I ingest, I retain, assess and I change, possessed by the thought I'll be free one day from society's restraints, money, clout and fame, mud, disease, a plague. We all love to hate, have to play the game, have to make a name, all our insecurities are on display. This is war with the enemy, think that it was meant to be, living in a time where disease is on every screen. I won't let them fester me, I know